Hello, everyone. This is Mike from Dimensional Walking. And today we're going to call our episode High Strangeness, Black Boxes Revisited, UFO Connection. So, back in 2012, there was a strange series of incidents evolving around black boxes. Okay, so I wrote a couple articles. I kind of was checking things out back around 2012, and I kind of forgot about it. It was very interesting, but I forgot about it. But just recently, something came across my desk, and it was about some black boxes that were found in Ukraine. And these black boxes were seemingly placed or found around Russian targets. Okay? And best of everybody's understanding, nobody seemed to know what they were. But it seemed like the targets were facilities, military type facilities, and some of them were destroyed by Ukrainian, airstrikes or missiles. But nobody could explain the black boxes. And I have not seen anything else about it. So that reminded me about 2012. Actually, it kind of started in 2011, but between 2011 and 2012, especially early 2012, there was black boxes that were found on the west coast of the United States. Okay? Now, they were primarily in the beaches along the coast. Okay, actually along the coast. Okay, so with that said, let me go back a little bit back in history, because these black boxes have been found in the past, and I'm going to kind of page through here some of my notes. And if we go back to the late 1900s and then sometime in 2004, 2005, there was a series of very large black boxes that were found in and around Sri Lanka. And I believe the British still had quite a bit of influence in that region. And so their government was investigating these. And a lot of them were on the beach again. And the government basically didn't say too much about it, but there was a lot of conversation about, before they appeared, there was a lot of UFO sightings around there. Now, they were also going back, actually in the same area, Sri Lanka again, in the 1950s. I actually did find an old article about it. And then again, these were black boxes again that were on the beach. And there was also some UFO sightings around there at the time. So it was quite strange. The government never said what their investigation found out. At least I never could find anything out searching the internet. So anyways, that was very strange. And it kind of shows that they've been around for a while. It looks like there was a big gap between the 1950s and 2000. Actually, I think some of them were actually found in the late 1990s also in the Sri Lanka area. So they came in kind of different shapes and even different colors. They weren't all black. So, and again, they were located on the beaches. Some of them were located on the side of the Indian Ocean side, and there was some Bay of Bengal side. It seemed like the whole island actually had these type of black boxes. So one of the other things is, so we'll go back to let's go back to Oregon beaches. Okay, so people would find these boxes there, and one of the most interesting things about them, they were actually hum. They'd actually have a humming sound, a low-grade humming sound that came from them. And they seem to be, all these ones that are being found along the beaches, they all seem to be about the same size. There were 4 to 5 feet across, 4 to 5 feet high. They're almost a box, a square box, okay? And they didn't have any kind of, look like there were any doors or handles or seams. They were just a black box, okay? And for a while there, apparently they've been on the shore into the, I think it started actually 2011. Now, the interesting thing that happened in 2011, if you remember, there was the earthquake in Japan. And so then the next, after that happened, I think that happened in May. I could be wrong in that. I'm sure you'll correct me, but I think it was May of 2011. A lot of debris from Japan came over and ended up on the beaches in mainly Oregon and California. So for a while there, they believe that some of these boxes have been sitting there for quite a while, and people really didn't pay overly a lot of attention to it because of the simple fact there was so much other debris that had been washed ashore. But I guess suddenly somebody walking along the beach says, "Jesus, what is this thing?" You know, and then I guess they ended up calling the University of Oregon, and who happened right outside of Newport. There's a research station they have there. And so one of the things that initially happened was people would go out there and they, like with a 4-wheel drive Jeep, and chain the boxes up. And apparently they're extremely heavy. And of course, on a beach, it's hard to move anything. And if it's extremely heavy and dense, like these seem to be, it was impossible. They could not move them. They put chains around them with the 4-wheel drives, and they tried to move them. I think one time they put 2 of them, they hooked 2 of them up, and they couldn't move them. That's it. Worst they did is they drove them into the sand. So that was it. Now, there were rumors, I will tell you this, there were rumors that eventually some government agency sent a big crane there and was able to extract a couple of them and actually put them on a truck of some sort and took them away. Nobody knows any more about it than that, and that could be just a rumor, a real rumor, okay? All of this may be a little bit of a rumor, but definitely the black boxes did exist, and etc. So anyways, there was a place out there I was telling you about in Newport. This is called the Hatfield Marine Science Center, and this is a big outfit, okay? I think they have about over 300 employees or people that are related to the grant. Apparently they got a lot of money. I think it was over, I think I wrote it down, I think it was over $200 million. And it isn't for the black boxes. This is for marine type studies, really kind of any type of study. In fact, one of the things I thought was so fascinating, let me see if I can find what they were saying, is that this was the only, I guess this is one of the few places in the United States where they study, there's only 2 of these places that study the sea, space, and the sun. And they're considered a top-tier research center and from the Carnegie Foundation. So Carnegie Foundation apparently has given them quite a bit of money. So I thought it was pretty odd that these black boxes, some of them happen to show up quite close to where this institute is. So it was pretty easy for them to go out and see what the heck was going on. And they basically, I think the guy that was the head of the center, and I'll probably screw up his name, but his name was Hanshirmaker, and basically he was told, I think the government actually contacted him and told him to go out and take a look at this because they seemed to be more of them were like popping and cropping up. And I guess this doctor was a Star Trek fan, and he says it was sort of like these Trimblies, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but some of you Trekkies will probably correct me on that. But apparently this is something from Star Trek where these black or these box type things seem to multiply, and these seem to multiply. They seem to be popping up quite a bit up and down the coast during the early, it was 2012 in the February timeframe, February January, February, and March, I think they said. So that was really strange. Now, they really didn't feel that the surf was bringing these in at all. They were actually felt that they were dropped there from the sky, basically. There was some sightings. There was people in Newport and along the coast, all the way up to Cannon Beach, that were saying that before the black boxes appeared, there seemed to be a lot of flashing lights. There was a lot of stuff going up in the sky, UFO type. They would consider as UFO, unidentified flying objects. That was going on before the black boxes appeared. So, anyways, there's no doubt about it. And people really started watching the skies because of these black boxes that were going on. And so the bottom line here was there was a lot of attention to this. And some of it at first, they thought it was debris from Japan. But when people started doing more research, and sort of like I did, and found out that these black boxes have been seen or discovered for probably 50 years or so around the world, especially, again, Sri Lanka was one of the big ones. There was a couple other places, though, but Sri Lanka seemed to have a big hit in the 50s and also later in the 2000s. Nobody seems to know why. It seems like the information about the black boxes in the Sri Lanka event kind of died and went away. And it's the same thing here. And that's what, to me, makes it a big mystery. It's sort of like this black box thing has died. And here's the other question. What happened to all the black boxes? Where do they go? There's none of them that I know of on the beaches anymore. We've been down to the beaches along the coast since then. And not saying that we were looking for black boxes, but we didn't see any. We didn't hear anybody even talk about them. And we try to talk to as many people as possible when we're doing a little bit of our research. So anyways, the bottom line is there seemed to have been an interest. There seemed to be a real big interest in these black boxes. And apparently some of them are showing up in Ukraine. Like I said, that was the reason I wanted to revisit this and see what was going on. So anyways, one of the things I want to ask you out there, if you know anything more and you have any additional updated information on black boxes, either here in the United States or around the world, I would really like to know. Now, Rainbow and I are going to be going to the coast. We don't live that far from the coast of Oregon. And we're going to be going there and taking you on a little journey to discuss Rainbow's contact she made with a Sasquatch there just north of Cannon Beach. So we're going to be doing that, and at the same time, we'll probably go down to the beach and walk along the beach, and who knows, maybe we'll find a black box or two. That would be pretty dang exciting. But anyways, we hope you come along with us to our journey. It'll probably be when the weather breaks on the coast, and it's a little warmer over there. We'd love to take you on that adventure, and we will. We'll get there for sure. So anyways, with that all said, thanks. And if comment here or at a private email, dimensionalwalking@gmail.com. And thanks a lot, and we'll see you. Bye-bye.